Hello everyone and welcome back to Deathtrap Dungeon. When we last left off, we just got badly beaten and bruised, but we overcame a rock grub and a giant fly and previously some other magical enemies. We've also managed to successfully navigate through and over and across quite a few traps, including pits and I don't know, huge giant soft balls filled with something. And we have picked up quite a few items on our way, so far so great. We have, unfortunately, on the other hand, we have consumed all our provisions and we are quite beaten down. We still have our potion of fortune, so the other stats look okay, but our stamina is quite low. Alright, and we're here at a kind of a crossroads. At an option, we could proceed north or open the door marked with the letter X at its center. And as usual, we are not going to proceed north. We want to avoid that, and we are also going to always check out all the doors that this dungeon holds. So let's open the door and see what it's about. The door opens into a large room. Right. We look round the room and see nothing of interest apart from an alcove in the west wall and a stone chair in the middle of the room. Sitting in the chair is the skeleton of an armed warrior, possibly a contestant from years gone by. The skeletal fingers of its right hand are gripped round a piece of parchment. And this guy must be last year's hide-and-seek champion. He won. Hiding. Nahaha. Well, there are two options here, I think. So either this guy is a trap itself, so it's kind of an animated skeleton, or it may be that this stone chair or throne or whatever it is the trap itself. So we're given the option, we're not gonna sit down on it. That I can promise to you. But I'm kind of curious what the parchment in its hands says. We could also ignore it and just walk over to the alcove. I think this alcove leads somewhere, so it's kind of a little path. But obviously we want to check out everything, so let's take the parchment from the skeleton. Touching the parchment has precisely the effect we had feared. The skeleton lurches forward and, rising from its chair in a series of jerky movements, raises its sword to strike us. Lunging sideways, we draw our sword to defend ourselves. Alright, so it was the skeleton itself was the trap, possibly. Given the option, we are still not going to sit down on this throne. Hopefully our character seemed to be ready for this outcome, so it didn't get the jump on us. Let's see how strong it is. Alright? With a skill level of 8, we outskill it by 2. That's not really great. At least it doesn't have too many stamina points, so 3 hits should take care of this one. And the first one is a swing and a miss on both sides. And of course it hits us. But we repay it in kind. Alright. We suffered 1 hit, that's acceptable, but we are down to 10 stamina, but we defeated the skeleton warrior. Once again, we reach for the parchment, only this time it is lying amidst a pile of broken bones. Another evil creature disposed of. Haha. Unfolding it, we see a map of a room with a drawing of a hideous creature inside it. Beneath the monster is a rhyme which reads, "Should you meet the manticore, of its tail beware. Shield yourself against the spikes flying through the air." And incidentally, I don't know why everybody in this dungeon seems to be talking in Limerick. I hope it's not something in the air poisoning us, poisoning the creatures dwelling here that makes them go insane like this. When and if we exit the dungeon, I hope to be able to talk in normal speech and not only in silly little poems like this one. We fold the piece of parchment and put it in our backpack. Repeating the rhyme over and over to ourselves, we walk across to the alcove. No idea why we put away the parchment. I don't think it's of any use, but it's not gonna hurt us either, so it's just kind of silly. At the back of the alcove are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush our face as we descend. The cellar ceiling is quite low and the floor is strewn with rubbish and debris. In the middle of the wall opposite us is an archway which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the rubbish to our right. Alright, we could taste some of the mushrooms, but I honestly don't think that the mushrooms here would be of beneficial effect to us, and we really cannot afford to take any hits to any of our stats right now. Maybe to do our luck, but I doubt that that's gonna happen. So instead we are going to skip eating some of the mushrooms, or any of the mushrooms rather, and we are going to just simply step through the archway. The tunnel continues west for several hundred meters, finally ending at some steps leading up to a closed trapdoor. We climb the steps slowly, hearing muffled voices above us. In the dim light we can see that the trapdoor is not locked. Alright? We have two options. We could knock on the trapdoor or burst through the trapdoor. It's clear that there are some intelligent creatures waiting on the other side, and creatures in plural, that's for certain, because they are having a conversation, unless there is one and it's insane. And you know what? In this dungeon, I highly doubt that there are some friendlies in a little group waiting for us with open arms and waiting for us to be civil. So I really think that the best option we have is to burst through the trapdoor with our sword drawn, be prepared for any eventuality, and if they are not evil, or we're not in any danger, we still don't need to attack them necessarily. Let's just be prepared for what might be on the other side, and let's move in aggressively. We throw the trapdoor open and run up the steps into a bright lantern-lit room. Two goblins are sharpening their short swords on a stone set in the middle of the floor. We catch them momentarily off guard, but they quickly recover and both rush forward to attack us. Alright, so it was a good idea to come in like this. They couldn't get the jump on us, and obviously we must dispose of them. There is no other way. Goblins are evil, chaotic evil creatures. Fortunately, they're not very strong. The first one has a skill of 5 and stamina of 4. It will go down in 2 hits, and we outskill it by 5. So let's see how it goes. Okay, if you throw a double 6, then it definitely has no chances, and it's dead. The second goblin is slightly better. It needs 3 hits, but otherwise it's just as skilled. Alright, first swing goes well. Second as well. And we will kill it. Alright, we killed the goblins and didn't suffer any wounds, which is fortunate because we're quickly running out of stamina, so we kind of needed this victory here. Let's take a look around. The only furniture in the goblins' room are a table, 2 chairs, and a cupboard on the wall. There are 2 closed doors, one in the west wall and the other in the north wall. Alright, before we discuss the doors, let's open the cupboard. I really don't think it's trapped or it has anything dangerous in it, unless something falls on our head or something, because it was their barracks, so yeah, why would they trap their only storage capacity? So let's see what the cupboard stores. The cupboard contains a wooden mallet and 10 iron spikes, which we put in our backpack while wondering which door to open. Alright, I don't know if we ever need these things, but they definitely don't hurt, they don't burden us down, so that was so far so good. Now we have 2 options, the west and the north door, and normally I would argue for any direction but north. However, in the last time we did not take the northern path, and we actually couldn't return to it. So I wonder if we should have in that option, if we missed out on something. So instead we are going to take the northern route this time. We are here to make an exception. We're also kind of badly bruised. Let's hope that this path holds something for us that can heal us back up. The door opens into another tunnel, which rises gently into the distance. After walking uphill for a while, the tunnel levels out and we soon arrive at a door in the right-hand wall to which a withered hand is nailed. Alright, we open every door, as you know, so we are not afraid of little omens like this. Let's open the door and let's be prepared for any eventuality. This is definitely something bad. We enter a room in which a man in tattered clothing is standing chained to the wall by his left arm. We see that his right arm is missing and realize that this must be the hand nailed to the door. Pleading for mercy, he cowers back from us as far as his chains will allow. Alright, poor guy. He's definitely not one of our competitors, so I don't know who he is, but I'm also quite certain that he's not a threat to us, especially maimed like this. So we could just let him be for some reason, but let's cut him free from his chains. If he for some reason attacks us, I'm 100% sure we can dispose of him easily. So I'm not scared of this guy. Let's see what happens if we free him. We step up to the frightened man and cleave the chain with our sword. He drops to his knees and bows, thanking us over and over again. He tells us that 4 years ago he entered the Trial of Champions but failed. He fell down a pit and had to be rescued by a trial master, one of Baron Sukhumvit's dungeon administrators. Okay, so we learned that there are administrators in this dungeon called trial masters. Right, that's good information. He was offered a choice between death or servitude in Deathtrap Dungeon as the trial master's minion. Choosing the latter, he worked like a slave until he could stand it no longer and tried to escape. Alas, he was unsuccessful and was captured by the trial master's wandering orc guards. We already found 2 of these orc guards and disposed of them. So, alright. To teach him a lesson, they cut off his hand and condemned him to a year's imprisonment in this cell. We ask him whether he has any information that might be of use to us. He scratches his head. "Well, I haven't exactly done very well in here myself," he says, "but I do know that you will need to collect gems and precious stones if you hope to get out. I don't know why, but there it is." Without another word, the ragged prisoner dashes out of the room, turning left into the tunnel. We decide to keep heading north and turn right into the tunnel. Alright? Okay, this was quite a handful. We learned quite a few things. So first of all, people or creatures that enter here, enter the trial, don't necessarily die just because they don't exit. Some get caught and are forced to help maintain this wicked labyrinth. We also learn of the trial master. We also have learned of the wandering orc guards, but we knew of them already. And now we have just learned, supposedly, that we need to collect gems. I don't know if this information is correct, but so far we have obtained an emerald from the Eye of the Idol, if you recall, and a blood red ruby orb. So if this is indeed our purpose, then we are doing great so far. One last thing, I don't know why. First of all, I don't know why he didn't join us. I mean, probably we are still his best hope of survival at the very least, and finding a weapon or something. We could have given him our dagger. And second, he turned to the south. That I also don't understand. I don't think he has any chances of getting out the way we came here. Getting through all the traps and all. But okay, we need to proceed north. That's where the prize lies. So it's not like we have a chance. We have any options to do otherwise. So let's proceed. There is an open pipe in the right-hand wall about a meter in diameter. It is too dark to see far down it. We shout into it and hear our voice echoing down the iron pipe until eventually the sound fades away. Okay, I don't think it was very wise to shout down it and draw attention to us, but it's not like we could control this action. We could crawl down the pipe or continue north. Now I don't want to go in this direction, but I want to check it out just in case where it leads, and then probably return or something like that. Maybe it holds something. So let's crawl down the pipe, just the beginning of it. The pipe is wet and slimy, but we crawl on into the dank darkness, slithering and sliding as we go. Suddenly, our hand touches something hard and square, which feels as if it is made of wood. It rattles as we shake it, and we decide we must be holding a box. Alright, so seems that we picked up something. We could now crawl back out of the pipe and examine our find, or we could press on further down the pipe, taking the box with us to examine later. Now, as I've said, I don't want to get trapped here. This is slimy and wet and probably very, very slippery. So now we still have the option to climb back out. We might not have this option later, and I really doubt that this leads to somewhere nice. So we are going to simply crawl back out of the pipe and check out what this box contains. Removing the box lid by the light of the tunnel, we find an iron key and a large gem. It is a sapphire. We gain 1 luck point. Placing the items carefully in our backpack, we set off north once again. Alright, that's actually great, as we've just been told we need to collect precious gems, so a sapphire is one of them. Maybe we need it later. And it didn't cost us anything. In fact, we gained 1 luck point, so this seems like a perfect outcome. So far so great. Let's continue. There is a new branch in the tunnel on our left, and ahead we see 2 bodies lying on the floor. We stop and peer down the new tunnel, but seeing no doors or creatures, we decide against walking down it. Okay, I really don't understand why we don't get the option to choose that for ourselves, but whatever. With our sword drawn, we walk over to where the bodies lie. Okay, that makes sense. At least we need to inspect everything. The bodies are those of 2 orc guards. At least one of our rivals in the Trial of Champions must still be ahead of us. A quick search of the bodies produces nothing apart from a necklace of teeth hanging around the neck of one of the orcs. Alright, so that's correct. We still have 3 rivals alive. The elf woman and the dark assassin entered the dungeon before us, and the barbarian, the second barbarian, entered after us, but could have easily overtaken us because we have been very slow crawling through this dungeon. So that's absolutely within the realm of possibilities that he got ahead of us. He overtook us. Now the question is whether to check out the necklace or not. That's literally the only option. And of course we want to check out everything, so let's see what this necklace does. I don't think it's cursed. I mean, why would the orc guards wear a cursed necklace? So let's see what it does. The necklace is an amulet of strength. We gain 1 skill point and 1 stamina point and continue our quest north. Alright, this is absolutely excellent. The stamina point is nice, not that it makes much of a difference, but the skill point is great. Remember how we upgraded our skill point after the riddle, the maths riddle with that madman. Now we managed to take advantage of that upgrade, and that means that we are now at this moment more skilled than when we started out. And our chances of survival, even with this 1 point, have been greatly raised. Alright, that was absolutely great. Let's continue our quest north. I wonder why whoever mowed them down didn't take the necklace, but thanks, competitor, anyway. The tunnel soon ends at a junction. Standing here alone and wondering which way to go is one of our rivals. It is one of the barbarians. We call out to him, but at first he does not answer. He merely stares at us coldly, his hands firmly gripping his axe. We walk up to him and ask which way he is heading. He grunts his reply, saying that he is going west and that we may go with him if we wish. Alright, so this must be the guy that entered after us. I'm pretty sure that we found the first one dead because we found it quite at the close to the entrance. So I don't think the last one could have overtaken us that quickly. So that means that we were well, I guess we were the last one walking in this dungeon, if others are still alive, obviously. And we have met number 3 of our competitors, which is also great. It seems that he's already suffered some grievous wounds. I don't recall him having an eye patch when he started out, so that would explain his bad mood. And we can join him, but we know that only one of us can win, so I have nothing against the guy. He seems competent, and I'm pretty sure that he's the one that dealt with the orcs. And that would explain why he didn't take the necklace. Orcs don't, sorry, barbarians don't care for magical items. So let's decline his offer and head east alone. Let's see what that holds. We're not gonna harm him. I mean, the dungeon's probably gonna take care of him. Yes, we have nothing against him. Let's go. The tunnel soon comes to a dead end. A piece of paper, brown and curled with age, is pinned to the end wall. Alright, it seems that we are actually going the way the barbarian is, because this is a dead end, but we have an option to check out this piece of paper, and we sure want to do that. Even if it's trapped, hopefully at the very least it's worth it. The parchment that we took off the corpse, or the remnants of the skeletal warrior, was definitely worth it in my opinion. So let's pull it off the wall to see whether there is a message written on this piece of parchment. The paper bears a simple warning written in dried blood. Beware the trial masters. Oh, that's spooky, written in blood. We replace the paper on its nail and run back down the tunnel to rejoin the barbarian. Right, that's definitely a message we can remember, and something that you know, later generations or later contestants might find useful. So we just run back down and rejoin our fellow contestant. Running down the tunnel, we soon catch up with the barbarian and tell him that the eastern passage comes to a dead end. He nods his head in silent understanding and sets off towards the west with us at his side. Alright. It seems that we have just gained an ally, and yeah, and actually we have learned quite a few things. Apart from the 2 battles, in one of which we got damaged, everything has been beneficial to us lately. So our skill is at 11, that's kind of crucial. Our luck is back to 10, which is also not bad, by the way. And we have 11 stamina points, so that's hopefully that will suffice. And we have a whole lot of you know, items and also riddles and stuff like that we have managed to gather. So this, I think, was extremely successful. But now that we are in relative safety in the company of this competitor of ours, I say it's time to make a break, catch our breaths, and make the cut of the video right here. I'll continue next time. I hope to see you next time, and I thank you all for watching. Bye bye.